Number 9. Kabbalistic Nonagon and the Golden Ratio. Number 9 will be examined here from several aspects: mathematical, geometric, linguistic, and Kabbalistic. We'll continue the theme presented in my previous video called Sacred Geometry in Kabbalah and discuss number 9 as part of the Tree of Life, the 9th Sephirah called Yesod, the foundation of 22 Hebrew letters, and its connection to the Golden Ratio and the Fibonacci sequence. We will build the geometric structure of a nonagon and see how it operates with 3 mathematical systems at the same time. The first is a triangle composed of digits 3, 6, and 9. This structure describes a pendulum movement anchored in 9 and moves between 3 and 6 as a result of multiplication and division of 3 and 6, which always result in 3 or 6. And when raised to the power of 2 or more, the result is always 9. The triangle is a closed system of polarity and duality, much like electric field or a flex field, and with axis passing by 9. The second system consists of the remaining 6 digits 1, 2, 4, 8, 7, and 5. This set of numbers appear in infinite cycles and describe multiplication and division of numbers, forming a timeline and a vortex. And the third system is the Fibonacci sequence. Its geometrical expression begins at the crosspoint of the second system, and it develops in a spiral path up to the point when it meets the decimal counting system at the exact vertex at number 9 and exactly at a distance of 100. That is to say, the vertical line connecting the Fibonacci sequence with number 9 is 100 long. This shows the workings of the decimal system with all other systems through number 9. The metric system, or the decimal system, is revealed in the math and geometry of 9, since, as we shall see, 9 is the mathematical and the linguistic archive. The Nonagon is an energetic matrix, an extensive field for classical mathematical operations, and it contains precise answers to theological symbols as well. Geometric divisions create symbols of abstract value because they embody the spiritual forces that operate behind cosmic life. Symbols are eternal, and their very existence is the proof for that. Even if we do not understand them today, symbols have always been there, and they will remain in the future. And it is always interesting to know the historical context in which they were rediscovered. The Nonagon is an example of such ancient but never-ending esoteric symbol, which has a practical meaning, and this can be learned from Marco Rodin and researchers of vortex-based mathematics. Number 9 is well known in the esoteric of many religions. It is sacred in the Baha'i religion. In Greek mythology, the 9 muses are the goddesses of art and science. The mysteries of the Nonagon occupy the minds of Gurdjieff and Uspensky, and in Kabbalah, the 9th Sephirah Yesod is the foundation of the 22 Hebrew letters. Mathematically, 9 is the last digit of the decimal system, the last end of all units, since each number, if we add all of its digits, eventually will be reduced to only one of 9 digits. Starting from 10, that returns to 1, since the 2 digits 1 and 0 equal 1, and so any number, large or small, after reduction will be found only between 1 and 9. 9 cannot be crossed. 9 is one step before 10, one place before completion. Since 10 is the number of perfection, the sum of the first 10 digits, 55, in Gematria means everything, all. So perfection or completion are found in 10 and the letter Yod. If we add the first 10 digits in the power of 2, the result 385 means Safa, language, or Shekinah, the divine presence, or Asiyah, the fourth world, out of the 4 worlds known as Abi-A, Atzilut, Bri'ah, Yetzirah, and Asiyah. In short, number 10, or the decimal system, is bound to language, to Shekinah, and to the 10th Sephirah, Malchut, kingdom. And Malchut in Gematria 496 is the sum of the gematria values of all 22 Hebrew letters, from 1 to 400, the sum 1495. When thousands return to ones, it becomes 496, the word Tumim, the oracle of the Kohen, or Malchut, kingdom. On the other hand, if we add only the first 9 digits, the result 45 means Adam. And again, 45 is reduced to 9 because 4 plus 5 equals 9. Thus, number 9, Yesod, aims directly at Adam, even in the natural way, as set forth by nature, through the 9 lunar months of any Adam in his mother's womb. Therefore, Adam is not perfect, much like 9. Adam is not 10 and not 1, but always a little less than the whole. But since 10 is united with 1, that is to say, Malchut unites with the crown, in Kabbalistic terms. 9 remains the assembler of all numbers and letters. As we can see, Yesod is rooted in the kingdom of language and the decimal system, and it is the beginning of the tree trunk of the tree of life. According to the Book of Formation, the 10 Sephirot, or the decimal system, was chosen naturally. It was a natural choice out of many choices. So if the decimal system is a natural selection, it is also a divine selection, since nature equals to Elohim, God, both 86 in Gematria. If nature chose the decimal system, it means that God chose it, and not only for math, but as a base for the Hebrew alphabet, his language. The diagram of 10 Sephirot illustrates the way in which Yesod receives the flow of light, in Kabbalistic terms, from all 8 spheres preceding it. See how the 3 lines in the tree of life descend into 9, from the right line of Chesed, grace, or mercy, and from the left line of Gevurah, courage, and judgment, and from the middle line of Tiferet. Yet only 9, Yesod, is directly related to the 10th Sephirah, Malchut. Malchut 496 is the sum of the gematria values of all 22 Hebrew letters, from Aleph 1 to Tav 400. In other words, the dialogue between 9 and 10, between Yesod and Malchut, between foundation and kingdom, is done by means of math, the decimal system, and the 22 Hebrew letters. Another proof to the close relationship between 9 and Adam is found in the 9th row of the mathematical matrix explained in my video called The Hebrew Language and the Laws of Nature. In the 9th row, we find Adam, 45, Perach, flower, 288. See the Nonagon flower and the flower of life, which is also the sum of the Sephirot, Chesed, plus Gevurah, the 4th and the 5th, and Emet, truth, 441. Yesod, attributed to Joseph, is situated on the middle line attributed to Jacob. Give Chesed, grace, to Abraham, right side, Emet, truth, to Yaakov, middle line. Indeed, 441, truth, is found in Yesod, number 9 on the middle line. Yesod in Gematria 80 is the letter Peh, meaning mouth or language. At the age of 80, Moses stood heavy-mouthed Kvad Peh before Pharaoh. Kvad 26 is Jehovah, and Peh, written Pei Hey, is 85, and so Moses spoke Peh, the language of Jehovah, Kvad. The combination of the two words heavy mouth, Kvad Peh 26, plus 85 equals 111, meaning Aleph. So, at the age of 80, old Moshe knew the Aleph Bet in Hebrew, the language of Yehovah. Yesod 9 is the control center of all the numbers and all the 27 Hebrew letters. Hebrew mathematics begin with the fact that each letter is a number. And when we place 27 letters and their geometric values in 3 circles of 9 digits, we see that there are only 9 units, 9 tens, 9 hundreds, and Aleph, which is written the same as Aleph returns to 1. From 1 to 9 are 9 units, letters Aleph through Tet. From 10 to 90 are 9 tens, from Yod up to Tzadik. From 100 to 900 are 9 hundreds, from Kuf up to final Tzadik. 1000 returns to 1, since thousands are calculated as units. In the diagram on the right, the 27 letters are arranged in 3 rows and 9 columns according to their geometric value: a row of units, a row of tens, and a row of hundreds. The first column on the right totals 111, Aleph, and the last column on the left sums up to 999, in Gematria, Minister of Hosts, Sar Tzvaot, or Army of Letters. Aleph illustrates its special relationship with geometry. It begins with a prologue, demonstrating how its geometric value, 111, is a dimension in a decimal square. To illustrate this, let's draw a square 100 on 100, marked in blue, cross it into 2 rectangles, and discover 111 as the length of the diagonal. Aleph is tilted at a 26-degree angle. 26 equals Yehovah. The immediate revelation of Aleph and Yehovah proves that Hebrew is a natural scientific language that operates with decimal geometry. Hebrew transcends to new realms such as math and geometry. Mathematically, 111 denotes tenfold. 1 time 1, 1 times 10, 1 times 100, and 1000. And while using 111 as a radius, the golden ratio appears: 1.618, and 161.8, and 61.8, the word I am. The golden ratio is a natural law, also known as the divine proportion. Indeed, the proportion 1.618 is revealed alongside divinity, the holy name Yehovah 26, and Aleph, the first letter of the divine language. Is it possible that sacred geometry in Hebrew is a new understanding? Or perhaps we see a geometric proof that is just being rediscovered today. How come there are no books about it? One way or another, even in antiquity, few Greeks like Aristotle, Pythagoras, and Plato studied geometry, since it is always possible to see the voices, read letters, and measure words. It is the same geometry ever since. This is the reason and the result of Gematria in Hebrew. It is meant exactly for such calculations. The diameter of a circle with Aleph as a radius, 222, means bless, and other words composed of the same 3 roots letters, such as kruv, cherub, to combine, or kvar, the Babylonian river Kvar, where divine visions occur, or rechev, vehicle, rechev Israel. Aleph is found in a 100 on 100 square, but 4 such squares are needed to detect letter Bet 412, as the length of a diagonal, passing through the 4 of them. The existence of Bet with dimension 400 is a direct reference to God's assurance to Abraham regarding 400 years in Egypt. The word years in Gematria 400 is the letter Tav. In other words, Aleph to Tav, 400, create a linguistic, mathematical, and geometrical framework. As written in the Passover Haggadah, At ptach lo, At, Aleph, Tav, open the door for anyone asking, what is this work? The key rests within the language, and Bet is Bait, the house of God, Bet Elohim. These are the thinking tools needed before Exodus, before receiving the written Torah and the scriptures in Hebrew. Since 100 in Gematria is Yamim, days, Aleph, as we saw, is revealed in days, 100. Since 400 is Shanim, years, Tav is revealed in years, 400, as well as Bet Elohim. Since Aleph with a different punctuation is Elef, 1000, let's remain faithful to the decimal counting system and draw a circle with a 1000 diameter. We'll mark the X's and build a square. The length of each side, 707, reads the Shabbat. Remember the Shabbat square, as it is based on mathematics of 10 and the Hebrew letters. And you shall keep the Shabbat, 707, for it is holy to you. It is worth remembering that the Holy of Holies, the Dvir of Shlomo's temple, is a decimal square. In the third dimension, the Shabbat square grows into the Shabbat cube. This structure of a universal linguistic cube is described in detail in the Book of Formation as a model of the created world. Inside the Shabbat cube are 4 internal diagonals that connect 2 opposite vertices. Here is an example of a diagonal plane illustrating one diagonal. 4 diagonals cross the center, each being divided into 2 dimensions of 612, covenant, Brit. The right triangle in the Shabbat cube shows the dependence and unity between the decimal calculus, the Hebrew letters, divinity, and the covenant of the Shabbat. The Shabbat cube is kept in a circle of Brit, within a sphere with a 612 radius of covenant. The 4 diagonals cross at the center point where 8 strings of Brit are sent back to the 8 corners of the cube. Each string is 612 long. These are the 8 violin threads mentioned in Tehillim 92, Psalm of the Shabbat day. A psalm, a song for the Shabbat day, with an instrument of 10 strings and with a psaltery, with a solemn sound upon the harp. When examining a cube, we must remember that the biblical Dvir is scaled in decimal units. The Holy of the Holies in the temple is the dwelling place of the Ark of the Covenant, and on the tablets of the Covenant, engraved, remember the day of the Sabbath, 707. In the center we find number 9, controlling all numbers and letters. The 9th Sephirah Yesod holds Yod Sod, the secret of 10, and creates a covenant Brit, ties with the other 8 digits marked in the corners. The covenant of the Shabbat is a covenant of language, a covenant of the decimal calculus, and a covenant of 22 letters from Aleph 111 to Tav 400. ספר שמות, פרק ל"א, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. Exodus. Thus shall the children of Israel observe the Sabbath, to make the Sabbath through their generations as an everlasting covenant. Since 100 is days, Aleph and Yehovah are being revealed in days, and the covenant of the Shabbat is being revealed in 1000. Before we continue with 9, let's have a quick glance at what happens when the Shabbat square rotates at 45 degrees. see the emergence of Shabbat lights all around? 207 is the Hebrew word for light, or. 9 is an archive containing numerical, mathematical, and geometric information and other truths that we can understand. And the Nonagon, the geometric expression of 9, contains a treasure box of Hebrew symbols, as implied in the Book of Formation. Let's draw a circle with a 100 diameter. The circumference 314 is the name Shaddai or Metatron. 314 derives from pi, 3.14. We'll divide a circle into 9 equal parts. Inner angle is 40 degrees. We'll mark 9 at the top and see how each pair of numbers sum up to 9. 1 plus 8, 2 plus 7, 3 plus 6, and 4 plus 5. It is worth remembering that 9 in the power of 2. 81 means Anochi, I am. The length of each side of the triangle 86 in Gematria means Elohim, God, or Hateva, the nature. So far we read, I am, Shaddai, Metatron, Elohim. The radius of an inner circle connecting 9 points is 26, Yehovah, Jehovah. And the distance between the intersection points, 18, means Chai, alive. The diameter of another inner circle connecting 9 additional points is 65, Adonai, my Lord. And the width of the outer ring surrounding Adonai, my Lord, measure 17, meaning good. Up to now we read, I am the Lord. I am Shaddai, Metatron, Elohim, Yehovah, alive and good. As we see, Hebrew, the language of God, is a prosaic, mathematical, and geometrical language, which naturally illuminates itself, scientifically and independently, by means of numbers, measurements, and letters. It commemorates sacred names of God and terms related to divinity. An inner circle with a 22 diameter is a direct reference to 22 letters of Yesod, the 9th Sephirah. The 22 letters appear 18 times in the outer ring of good, surrounding the circle of Adonai. This shows that 22 letters are alive, 18, and good, 17. They are 22 living letters, immersed in good. Sacred geometry raises the question whether mathematics is the key to understanding the universe. Is it merely describing reality, or whether it is reality itself? Does the universe obey mathematical models? Fragments of truth will be discovered through mathematics, calculations, and measurements. Let's examine these 3 mathematical systems that operate within the Nonagon. The first, in the form of a triangle of nature or Elohim, links the digits 3, 6, and 9. The second system describes an endless cycle of the remaining 6 digits, 1, 2, 4, 8, 7, and 5. The third system is the Fibonacci sequence and the golden ratio. The first system is a triangle, the basis of a hexagon, a nonagon, a 12 folds, and a 3-dimensional geometrical body called double tetrahedron, or Merkava. The Holy Trinity, the Holy Three, is an idea embodied in a triangle of Holy Elohim within a decimal circle. The threefold name of God, Elohim, the nature, is a geometric triangle, rooted and explained in Hebrew. Even the cross is a symbol with a universal meaning. The ancient cross is revealed as an abstract idea, a natural symbol of two opposites, day and night. The height of the triangle of Elohim, 75, means night, whereas the length of each side of the triangle of Adonai is 56, day. The universe is a university of symbols, and the shape of a symbol reflects the hidden ideas. The second system consists of the remaining 6 digits, 1, 2, 4, 8, 7, and 5. These numbers reflect doubling, multiplication, and division. The 6 digits usually appear in the same repeating order, such as in 22 divided by 7. This system creates a sign of infinite and raises a mutual radius for both nonagon and hexagon, 2 flowers or 2 mechanical rotating wheels. The 9 petals are naturally portrayed, and the leaf is identical to that needed for the hexagonal flower, depicted in the lower part. The common radius 17 means good. It is the height of the Vesica piscis, while the length 30 means that it is. Ki, 30. Tov, 17, translates to that is good. Vayar Elohim ki tov. The biblical phrase, and God saw that it was good, is revealed in the mathematical exactness of Genesis. I am the nature, and all the names of God, Anochi, Shaddai, Metatron, Elohim, Yehovah, alive, that is good. Plus the living language, the 22 letters. These are all assuring geometric facts. Geometry is a universal science, not monopolized by any language. Yet, the fish like Vesica piscis, being a sacred symbol of Christianity, as we see, originates in the mathematics of the Hebrew Scriptures, the language of the Old Testament. Surely, no branch can deny the tree it claims to grow from. Indeed, all mathematics can be found in the Vesica piscis, a mutual space of 2 circles, or entities, like spirit and matter. If we examine a nonagon in an 86 diameter circle of Elohim, the nature, and measure the Vesica piscis, we find the height, Yah, 15, and the length, Yehovah, 26, both enclosed within a 45 diameter circle, meaning Adam. Yah, Yehovah, are the first 2 names of God mentioned in the Book of Formation, a 4,000 years Kabbalistic book attributed to biblical Abraham. Let's make Adam in our own image, said Elohim in Genesis chapter 1. This is the geometric illustration of this internal discourse between the divine names Elohim, Yah, Yehovah, and the name Adam. When we draw an 86 radius circle, a complete circle of Elohim, the nature, we find the name Israel, 541, as a circumference accompanied by another dominant feature, the letter Aleph, 111. Again, we're witnessing a deep connection between math, geometry, Hebrew words, names, and meanings. Adam was placed in the Garden of Eden of the Hebrew language in order to cultivate and preserve it. The biblical text reads to work and to keep. To work, le'ovda, equals 111, Aleph, and to keep, le'shomra, equals 575, meaning 10, Asara. Again, the decimal counting system. So the name Israel is mathematically related to Elohim. Israel is the name given to Jacob after he left Lavan. The letters of Lavan are Lamed, 30, Bet, Nun, 52. We can clearly see the geometry of the spotted, the stripped, and even the sticks of Jacob, Israel. It is worth mentioning again the Psalms of the day of the Shabbat, Tehillim, 2, 8. With an instrument of 10 strings, with a psaltery, with a solemn sound upon the harp. Now, before discussing the Fibonacci series, let's watch again the series of circles for a few moments. The third system, the Fibonacci sequence, starts from the cross point of the infinite sign. It develops in a spiral manner and cross number 9 in the vertex as an exact distance of 100. In other words, the Fibonacci sequence joined the decimal system and number 9 when its axis is 100 long. The Fibonacci sequence is a series of infinite numbers, each one indicating the sum of the two preceding numbers. The series starts with the number 1. The second number, 1 plus 0, is also 1. Then 1 plus 1 is 2. 2 plus 1 is 3. 3 plus 2 is 5, and so on. The golden ratio, or the divine proportion, 1.618, is a constant ratio between two parts. It appears for the first time in a 5-pointed star and was considered sacred in the schools of Pythagoras and Plato. 1.618 is a specific and constant proportion between two adjacent numbers in a Fibonacci sequence. Both systems describe the same phenomena, although not from the very beginning, but soon after. When we draw the Fibonacci sequence geometrically, we get an area consisting of squares. The side of each square is a sequential number of Fibonacci. The spiral path develops from arches passing through the squares, illustrating the growth momentum in nature, starting with shells, plants, constellations, vortex or hurricane. Although the Fibonacci series presents a method of calculation that is different from the linear one of the decimal system, its vertical line meets the decimal count at the exact length of 100, precisely in the vertex and precisely at digit 9. The circle in this case has a 148 diameter. 148 is the gematria value of Pesach, Passover, as well as Netzach, eternity, the seventh Sephirah of the Tree of Life. The seventh Sephirah, eternity, Netzach, is attributed to Moses, and Passover is naturally connected to Exodus. The holiday is meant for remembering natural science, astronomy, the counting system of days. It starts with 10 days of preparation before the ceremony, and it ends with a counting of 7 weeks, and only after Passover the Torah was written. This must be the meaning of the word Seder in Hebrew. The correct order of Passover, algebra, and geometry must precede writings. There is no wonder, therefore, that the height of the triangle enclosed in Pesach, or Netzach, is 111 Aleph. The spiral path of Fibonacci continues from 144 Kedem towards the 7 days of Passover, towards the following 233 square, which is the base of the greatest symbol of Egypt, the Great Pyramid of Giza. 233 means remember. Remember this thing. Remember your God that pulled you out of Egypt. To conclude, human quest to understanding the essence of life and the universe raises the ultimate question: is there a God? We often wonder, what is the meaning of the word God? We ask what scientific evidence can confirm God's existence. What kind of logic can be a substitute for blind faith? Is mathematics a key to the universe? Does it merely describe reality, or maybe it is reality? From what we have seen so far, geometry is a tool that can describe pure knowledge, pure information. It reveals a new reality, a non-local, universal reality. Geometry is a language that offers a new perspective, and the compatibility between the Hebrew language, mathematics, and geometry provides a key and answers to such questions.